Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Zhou knew that it was time for him to learn more about birth charts. However, there were more important matters to decide for now. For example, should he head to Skywheel Mountain Range? The major factions would most probably treat Skywheel Mountain Range as a stage for a competition of their strength. It did not seem worth it to Zhou to expend so much effort for the birth chart beasts. After all, he had the reversal cards, after all. He did not even have to worry about 200 years of life, let alone 1,500 years. The only thing he needed was the abilities the birth chart beast might give him. Zhou continued to study the Yang's heart. Compared to ordinary beasts, the life heart of a birth chart beast was angular. Ordinary life hearts were like oval crystals, their shape was not dissimilar to a walnut. On the other hand, the life heart of a birth chart beast resembled a Rubik's cube. Strange. Can't I initiate birth charts with the reversal cards? Zhou wondered out loud. After he was done examining the life heart, he put it down. Then, his thoughts wandered to Skywheel Mountain Range. I've exhausted my extraordinary power, and I don't have many trump cards now. The extraordinary power granted him an advantage over his peers, allowing him to defeat them. The 6 powers from the heavenly writing scrolls could also deliver a shocking effect if used at the correct time. However, it was unlikely that Yuan'er would go to Skywheel Mountain Range. Moreover, there would also be people from other factions. Even if Zhou brought Yuan'er and his 2 eldest disciples along, he still would not gain the upper hand. Should I just keep a low profile? Zhou stroked his beard as he continued to ponder on this matter. After a while, his eyes lit up. If the Sky Marshal Court goes to Skywheel Mountain Range, should I seize the opportunity to attack the Sky Marshal Court and rescue Sikong Baichen? However, soon after, he shook his head and dismissed that thought. Surely this will occur to Yuan'er as well since it occurs to me. What should he do? For the umpteenth time since he arrived in the Red Lotus domain, he regretted not bringing Wuya along. Alas, it was pointless to feel regret now. He knew there was no question he had to bring Conch if he wanted to get to the bottom of her origins. Among all his disciples, little Yuan was the only one who could look after Conch. Therefore, he had decided back then to bring the 2 little girls with him. Is anyone outside? Zhou asked. Your orders, Senior Liu. Summon Mang Chongdong here. Tell him to bring some talismans with him. Understood. Zhou almost forgot he had the means to contact Wuya. Soon after, a Cloud Mountain disciple led Mang Chongdong to the side hall. Mang Chongdong opened the door and entered the room respectfully. Senior Liu, were you looking for me? Contact Wuya, Zhou said. Mang Chongdong nodded and said, understood. Mang Chongdong had grown smarter. He had already drawn several formation canvases in advance for communication purposes. When the Cloud Mountain disciple told him to bring talismans with him, he brought the formation canvas as well. Formation veins could be seen on the canvas as soon as he unrolled it. Following that, Mang Chongdong folded his palms. His primal chi surged, and the formation veins on the canvas lit up. Subsequently, he raised his right hand and held a talisman between 2 fingers. Soon after, the talisman ignited. Rune seals appeared in the air and formed a picture. At this moment, Wuya was studying the sky chariot and water shuttle in the southern pavilion. When he saw the formation canvas in the room glowing, he immediately ignited a talisman. He had communicated with his master and Mang Chongdong several times now, and Mang Chongdong had taught him the necessary techniques. He also learned how to make talismans and formation canvases. Then, using Zhao Yu and the Empress Dowager's influence, extreme-grade talismans were gathered from all over the empire and sent to the evil sky pavilion. There was a circle of light in the air before Zhou saw Wuya. Wuya saw his master and Mang Chongdong as well. Greetings, master. When Zhou saw Wuya was about to formally salute him, he raised his hand to stop Wuya before he said, that's enough. There's something urgent I'd like to discuss with you. Something urgent? Si Wuya was puzzled. Lu Zhou gave Si Wuya a brief account about Skywheel Mountain Range, the Sky Martial Court, the various factions, and Yuan'er. He spoke about the Yuan'er birth charts as well. He only withheld the part about him recently sprouting the 10th leaf. After all, Meng Changdong was with him, and everyone in the Red Lotus domain was under the impression he had long sprouted the 10th leaf. Si Wuya was shocked upon hearing his master's words. He hastily congratulated his master. I was unaware that you've become a 10-leaf cultivator, master. Congratulations. Lu Zhou frowned slightly and said, that's not the point. In your opinion, how should we deal with this? Si Wuya asked, how many tricks do you have up your sleeve, master? This was not an easy question to answer. Lu Zhou could not possibly tell Si Wuya about the deadly strike cards, the peak card, or any cards for that matter. However, how was Si Wuya supposed to strategize and come up with a plan if Si Wuya did not know the full extent of his strength? When Si Wuya saw his master was deep in his thoughts, he tactfully said, forgive me for being rude, master. No matter. Then, Si Wuya asked, if I may be bold. Are you confident about defeating Yuan'er in a one-on-one battle? Lu Zhou stroked his beard as he thought about this and said, even if 2 Yuan'ers come at me at the same time, I'll be able to defeat both of them, let alone 1 Yuan'er. Meng Changdong was shocked by Lu Zhou's reply. He wondered if this was the sort of confidence a birth chart gave a person. The feeling of winning life's lottery by joining the evil sky pavilion increased. Si Wuya nodded before he said, I see. This is simple then. The birth chart beast you killed proves there are other birth chart beasts at Skywheel Mountain Range. There are too many possibilities in the universe. Most people dislike uncertainties. Hence, they're usually cautious. What needs to be done is to turn one of the possibilities into an inevitability. With something as important as the birth chart, Yuan'er is bound to show up. How are we supposed to turn a possibility into an inevitability? Give the Yang's life heart away. Si Wuya made a shocking statement. Give it away? Even if the other factions go to Skywheel Mountain Range, they might not make a move at all. The life hearts of birth chart beasts is a trigger to a great war. Once you give the life heart away, all you have to do is wait and reap the rewards. When Yuan'er shows up, you can take his head. If other elites show up, they'll definitely fight Yuan'er. Sometimes, even the strongest alliance crumbles in the face of benefits, Si Wuya explained. Meng Changdong. Lu Zhou stroked his beard and nodded. Si Wuya's plan was reasonable. However, why did he feel the plan was shameless and even despicable? Si Wuya continued to say, you can bring the Yang's carcass to Skywheel Mountain Range and create the illusion that the Yang had escaped. This way, the pressure on Cloud Mountain will ease as well, Si Wuya said. Meng Changdong nodded and said, good idea. Si Wuya added, to prevent accidents, I've come up with 2 backup plans as well. Meng Changdong. The first backup plan is like this. Eldest and second senior brothers have profound cultivation bases. When you're at Skywheel Mountain Range, send eldest and second senior brother to the Sky Martial Court and challenge them. Leave 2 marks on them. If Yuan'er appears, they won't need to remove the marks. If Yuan'er didn't show up, have them remove the marks. Si Wuya, who was getting carried away, continued to say, the second backup plan. Enough. Lu Zhou interjected. I'm getting a headache. Lu Zhou felt that it was a headache as well when his disciples had too many thoughts. He wondered if his 7th disciple ever felt exhausted from all these brain activities. Si Wuya hastily bowed as he said, I'm sorry, master. These are all crude plans. I'm just worried because I'm not familiar with your circumstances. Meng Changdong mused, you call this unfamiliar? Lu Zhou maintained a neutral expression as he said, your plans are good, but why must I take such a roundabout way? You're right, master. A strong man can defeat 10 martial artists. I was worried for nothing. Initially, Meng Changdong intended to join the discussion. Although Si Wuya's plans were not fantastic, they were good. At the very least, they were safe and feasible. However, when he remembered Lu Zhou's unreasonable cultivation base, he had no choice but to swallow his words. Indeed, a strong man could defeat 10 martial artists. No matter how good a plan was, it would be rendered useless in the face of absolute power. Wuya understood this more than anyone in the Evil Sky Pavilion. Lu Zhou nodded and asked, "How's the Evil Sky Pavilion recently?" Wuya replied, "The 4 elders are now 9-leaf cultivators. Third senior brother is facing some slight difficulties, but he's already an 8-leaf cultivator. He's been working diligently. In my opinion, he should be able to reach the 9-leaf stage soon. 8 junior brother, he's at the 5-leaf stage. Senior sister Zhao Yu is busy with governance and has only raised her cultivation base by 1 leaf. I think that's strange, so I'll head to the divine capital soon to find out more about it." The 4 elders of the Evil Sky Pavilion were geniuses in their own right, to begin with. Before they severed their lotuses, apart from Hua Wudao, they were already famous individuals in the Golden Lotus domain. They were 8-leaf elites as well. It was not surprising for them to have reached the 9-leaf stage. Wuya continued to report to his master. Also, Penglai Island's Huang Shiji attempted to reach the 9-leaf stage previously, but he did not have a life heart. Therefore, I decided to give him 2 life hearts. Lu Zhou said, "You did well." Penglai Island had helped the Evil Sky Pavilion on numerous occasions. 2 life hearts are nothing. You can make the decisions on such minor matters, and there's no need to report to me. Wuya nodded. He continued, "Zhenghai Jian stopped by a few days ago. What business does he have?" Lu Zhou wondered out loud. He says he wants to meet his grandmother, but he doesn't want to ally with the palace. He wants senior sister Zhao Yu to give him a token that would grant him access to the palace. However, I turned his request down since the situation in the divine capital hasn't fully stabilized yet. I'll allow him to have the token when the time is right, Wuya said. If Lu Zhou had been in the Golden Lotus domain, he would have given the token to Zhenghai Jian without much thought. However, he had been away from the Golden Lotus domain for a long time, so he did not know much about the current situation there. He was sure Wuya had his own concerns. As Wuya's master, he could not be too controlling. All right. Lu Zhou nodded in satisfaction. With Wuya taking care of things in the Golden Lotus domain, there did not seem to be huge problems. I have one other thing to ask. What is it, master? Wuya bowed. I'm getting old. There are many things that I can't do on my own. Great Tang's emperor, Li Yunzheng, is well-read and has a wide view of the universe. He's clever and eager to learn. He's a rare talent, so I've decided on your behalf and accepted him as your disciple. Wuya was slightly taken aback. He looked up and pointed at himself with a shocked expression on his face. Master, you recruited a disciple, for me? Are you opposed to it? Lu Zhou asked. Wuya immediately waved his hands and said, I dare not. I'm just worried I might lead him down the wrong path. After all, this is the monarch of an empire we're talking about. If anything untoward happens, my name will be cursed for an eternity. I believe in your abilities. After all, you were once the Grand Tutor. You should have confidence in yourself. It's decided then. Don't disappoint me, Lu Zhou said with a slight frown. Understood. Wuya replied with a bow. Guardian Meng will send you some information about the Red Lotus domain. If there's nothing else, that'll be all for now. Meng Changdong and Wuya said at the same time, understood. Meng Changdong ended the connection. Then, he cupped his fists at Lu Zhou and took his leave. After that, Lu Zhou sent for Yu Shangrong and Yu Zhenghai. Lu Zhou's 2 eldest disciples were puzzled. They wondered what their master wanted with them. After they entered the side hall, they stood respectfully at the side. I summoned you here because there's something I'd like both of you to do. What is it, master? Yu Zhenghai asked. If it's about Skywheel Mountain Range, you can leave it to me and second junior brother. We'll make sure to get it done. Lu Zhou shook his head. That's not it. I want both of you to head to the Sky Martial Court and secretly investigate Yu Qinshu. Don't engage in a fight with him. All you need to do is find out if he's there. Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shangrong were puzzled by their master's orders. Lu Zhou raised his palms and pushed them forward. 2 marks flew toward his 2 disciples. If you don't see Yu Qinshu, remove the marks and deal with the situation. Yes, master. Lu Zhou decided to follow Si Wuya's plans after he modified them slightly. The Red Lotus domain was not the Golden Lotus domain where he could do as he pleased, after all. The Sky Martial Court held great power in the Red Lotus domain, and he was not certain if they had hidden trump cards or formations that would be troublesome to deal with. Before the Lotus Severing era dawned in the Golden Lotus domain, Yu Shangrong and Yu Zhenghai were peak 8-leaf elites. They could roam freely everywhere. Even sects with formidable formations and barriers did not pose a threat to them. However, this was not the case in the Red Lotus domain. Remember to prioritize your safety. Go, then, Lu Zhou said. Yu Zhenghai said with a smile, don't worry, master. If I can't even escape from a troublesome situation, then I would have been a sect master for so long in vain. However, after he finished speaking, he felt that he had misspoken, so he hastily said, I'll be sure to complete the mission. In truth, Yu Zhenghai was not wrong. Although he was a 9-leaf cultivator, he was already used to sparring with Qingyun, a 10-leaf cultivator. His real combat experience was not inferior to all 9-leaf cultivators. Ordinary 9-leaf cultivators would have a hard time trying to capture him and Yu Shangrong. Moreover, it was not like Lu Zhou was sending them to a fight to the death. With that, the 2 left and prepared to leave Cloud Mountain. Following that, Lu Zhou rose to his feet and walked to the back of the hall. He called out, Wizard. Upon hearing its master, Wizard flew over from the nearby forest. Use your ability. Wizard obeyed Lu Zhou's order and brought auspicious rain to Cloud Mountain. Lu Zhou closed his eyes. The heavenly writing's extraordinary power was being replenished at an extremely quick rate. Soon enough, his extraordinary power was fully replenished. After Wizard used its ability, it lay on the ground to rest. After checking the system dashboard, Lu Zhou discovered he had more than 100,000 merit points left. He could use them to purchase item cards at the final moment if he needed to. There was no need for him to stock up on item cards now. When he completed his preparations, Lu Zhou left the side hall and activated the purple glazed ceramic. He left Cloud Mountain silently and flew toward where the young fell. Since Nie Qingyun was on Cloud Mountain, even if the other factions were to attack at the same time, he could fend them off for some time. Not even Yizhen could take the mountain before, let alone now. When Lu Zhou reached the spot where the young fell, he studied the huge carcass. Without any hesitation, he shoved the life heart back into the carcass. Subsequently, he waved his hand, condensing primal chi was condensed into energy, and mended the carcass. Although the carcass was huge, it was not immovable for the 10-leaf Lu Zhou. When Lu Zhou was an 8-leaf cultivator, he already managed to prop a floating island up with one hand. Moving the young that was much smaller than the floating island was not difficult at all. Let's go. The young flapped its wings and rose into the air, controlled by Lu Zhou's energy. Compared to the young, Lu Zhou was insignificantly small. Most people would not discover him as long as he hid behind the wings. Meanwhile, the Cloud Mountain disciples jumped in shock when they witnessed this scene. They hurried to the main peak immediately. Sect Master. This is bad. The young came back to life. The young came back to life. Nie Qingyun's eyes widened in shock when he heard these words. He hastily rose to his feet as he said, Impossible. It's alive. You'll be able to see it if you go out and have a look. With a burst of movements, Nie Qingyun flew above the main peak. He looked at the young that was leaving. His eyes shone with complicated emotions as he murmured, how's this possible? Nie Qingyun had personally witnessed Lu Zhou take out the birth chart beast's heart. His common sense told him regardless of the type of beasts, it was impossible to live without a heart. He hastily landed and hurried to the side hall to find Lu Zhou. When Nie Qingyun arrived at the entrance of the side hall, he bowed and said, Nie Qingyun requests an audience with Senior Lu. There was no reply. Nie Qingyun raised his voice and tried again. Nie Qingyun requests an audience with Senior Lu. It was as silent as a graveyard. There was no reply, just like before. In the end, Nie Qingyun had no choice but to give up. After a moment, something stirred in his mind when he recalled the Yong's movements earlier. Could it be? That's wonderful, Senior Lu. After realization dawned on him, Nie Qingyun behaved as though nothing had happened and swiftly returned to the main hall.